Okay, so welcome to the Social Media Manager. Thank you both so much for joining me. I'm really excited to talk to both of you. I guess I should give a little bit of background. We connected through the Facebook group Boss Babes. Is that right? Which I want to talk about in another episode maybe because I think it's a brilliant way to connect with other entrepreneurs and awesome women doing awesome things. So that was really cool. And I'm really glad that you reached out because I love what you two are doing. So, on that note, maybe both of you can just give a little bit of an introduction of who you are in your own personal, professional life. And then we can talk about what you both do together. So, Anna, do you want to start?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm a graphic designer, a freelance graphic designer, but I am also in the fitness industry. I am a Zumba instructor, I'm a yoga teacher, and I like to say that I am fitness and wellness advocate. And that's basically what I do all the time.
Awesome. And Nicole, what about you?
So I'm running a web design agency called Supernova Sites, and we're based in Toronto, but we also work like worldwide, and just managing so many things about the company, ranging from like social media to web design, and so it's a little overwhelming at times, and that's why this group really helps me too. So social media brands.
Awesome. So let's talk about social media sprints. So how did it start? Maybe we'll start there with the two of you, and kind of give a background of how it started and what it's all about.
Okay, I guess I'll go then.
Whoever wants to go.
1 year ago, I always make business resolutions every year, like for the new year. And 1 year ago, I was like, I really need to get better at Instagram. This is getting ridiculous. And I just was not happy with my profile and didn't feel confident. And I also was managing so many things, and social media was the last thing on my priority list. But I knew I needed to give it more attention. So I created this group to give people more accountability to get work done. We meet once a week. It's a scheduled meeting every week, and gives everyone accountability. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all freelancers, so there's a support system there. And also started to teach myself tricks about Instagram, like how to do tutorials and reels. I started doing reels in June, and one of my reels did go viral, so that was fun.
Nice.
And just learning about how to do better on it. And not only that, but I feel like the skills that I learned on Instagram are applied everywhere. Like you can use all those skills to the rest of your company. So it's been a really great experience for me.
Can you talk more about that? Like using those skills in the rest of your company, like on other social platforms, or do you mean even beyond that?
I think the biggest lesson I've learned is that it's it doesn't matter how good your work is. It's about how you present your work, right? And that's all about Instagram, especially with web design or graphic design. You really want to capture people's attention and entertain them, and just like a wow factor, right? So like for me, like also learned to establish my own voice. I didn't have a voice before, and just posting more frequently made me learn my personality, my business personality. So like things like that, and other things like how to edit videos, and you can use videos for everything. YouTube, right? Um, GIFs, things like GIFs.
Yeah, very cool. So, Anna, can you speak a little bit more about what these um, sessions or meetings with these freelancers and entrepreneurs, what does that look like?
Well, it's fun, but it's also about giving you space to work in your own social media.
Yeah.
Because as Nicole say, we are doing a lot of stuff all the day, and we're planning, and we're doing work, and we're doing other stuff. So then we don't have time to work on our social media, especially Instagram, that it's so time consuming. So you have to be there. If you are not there, it's not working. So the way that we structure these meetings is that we have a few introduction for all the people that it's there, so we can meet each other. It's like a networking space. And then we have sprints where we just sit down and work on that. We have a little music at the back, so it's kind of relaxing, but at the same time you can concentrate on your work. And we also share experiences and share what we learn, and we share tips and tricks. So that's the key of these sessions, that we can share what we have learned, because we also don't want other people to to go through what we go, because it's a lot of work, and
Mhm.
we like to help. And also they can help us as well. So that's the idea of these meetings, that we can share and we can help each other.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think I want to know more about, you know, the actual sprints. I think that's a really cool term for this. And I think as, as an entrepreneur and looking at things online, people are presented with a bunch of courses, but it's not like like social media sprints, where I kind of envision it as more of like a workshop, um, where you can actually focus on these things that you're teaching, and then actually working on those things that you just taught. So is that kind of like how it's set up?
We kind of have a mixture of everything. So it's networking, it's also working, being accountable, but it's also learning. So they're learning a tip every single week that they can walk away with, and they can start using it right away. So it's kind of like a mixture of everything. And I didn't want to do just a workshop, or I wanted to make sure it was a live session and that people can meet with each other and network. That was really important for me, that we were there in a live setting, Zoom setting. Mm-hmm.
So have you found that these freelancers and entrepreneurs, um, because this is more of a networking event, in my experience, whenever I am talking to other entrepreneurs, I'm like, oh, I need you for this part of my business because I'm not that strong in that part of this business. And, we all have our strengths and the things that we're good at. So, are these networking events actually kind of turning into a place for these women to kind of grow their business and utilize each other's talents?
I would say that that's not really like the main goal of the
Uh-huh.
event, but everyone's on each other's Instagrams. We all follow each other,
Yeah.
and almost every week somebody chimes in with what they're working on. One girl was talking about LinkedIn, how she's doing like more sales strategy, like automatic messaging on there. So we were interested to learn more about that. Another woman was explaining her launch. She's a launch strategist, so she helps people launch their events online. And she was explaining some things that she does for that in her work. So we're all learning from each other. Um, Another one is a mortgage agent, insurance agent. So she gives us tips about that sometimes. So yeah,
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 that's
it's
really
more like
cool.
it's a great.
supporting. Yeah, it's more like supporting each other. And as Nicole say, we all follow us, and we all follow each other on Instagram or on Facebook groups. So then, even if I'm not going to buy a house right now, I know that she is there and I like their posts. So it's more about that support.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So, what was it that made you both start social media sprints? Was it mostly because you were going through your own personal journeys through freelancing and wanted to push that out on Instagram, or what was kind of like that jumping point, and how did the two of you kind of decide that you needed to do this together?
Well, it was actually Nicole's idea. She's the one who has started this, and later she invited me, but she's the one, she's the star.
Oh, geez, I'm not the star. Um, yeah, I was just like I said, was really feeling lost and couldn't find anything online, like anything similar. There was one I found, but it was for people over 40. So it wasn't a good fit for me. And then there was a lot of courses online that were hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And personally, myself, I go to a lot of online networking events. So I kind of like pulled parts and pieces from everything that I was going through to make this. And then I just, I purchased the premium Zoom subscription, and had a big learning curve on Zoom, like how to start meetings on there and record things and polls and voting. Um, Anna attended the event, and she was really helpful as a participant. She was always giving tips to people, um, things that even I didn't know. So I actually invited her as a co-host, and yeah, it's been really great ever since. She's been just extremely helpful. We just launched our ebook a few weeks ago, our first ebook online, and probably wouldn't have been able to do that without her. So it's really great to have partnership.
Yeah, that's so great. So let's talk about the ebook a little bit. What's included in the ebook?
Well, it's a lot of stuff. There are 62 pages or 63, and there are insights, there are tutorials, there are tips, there are examples. We have a lot of links, and there are tools also. There are resources. So basically, everything that you need to know to boost your Instagram or to specify something, to deepen in something, you got it there. We have reels, we have about profiles, type of profiles, little things about branding also, about how to choose colors, how to do a brand grid. So it's really fun to make it, and it's the result of what we have been doing on our social media sprints. So basically everything that we are teaching there, it's on the ebook and a little bit more. So
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
there's like topics like how to do an Instagram live. We have like how to analyze your analytics and your insights on there. How to write a killer Instagram bio. How to do a reel. Trending reel ideas. And it's more of a manual than anything. It's definitely not a written book. We want to like walk people through it visually. So you got a lot of diagrams. We have arrows pointing on the phone, like to parts of the app. So it's very, very much like a manual, help people.
that is so cool. I think so many people could use that, not just small business owners, but like anyone who wants to just have a good social media presence, even if it's not a business. So that's really cool. How much is the ebook?
It's only $25.
That's crazy.
uh,
I mean, it's crazy because just like you were saying, like everything that you see online is just hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and you're
Mhm.
packing all of this amazing information into one manual that's like only $25. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
Awesome. And did you make it that low just so it can be, you know, available to the masses?
yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it exactly. um,
That's awesome. Okay, well, let's talk more about these sprints. The actual session, I you said that they're weekly, is that right? How long and like is it every single week, 52 weeks out of the year, or how long are these sessions do they last?
Well, we divide them by season. So it's winter season, so we're going to start on January 25, and it's 1 hour. We do it we do it every Tuesday from 10 a.m. Eastern time to 11 a.m. And it's 1 hour that we divided for introduction, two sprints from 15 to 20 minutes each, and then at the middle of the session we have the tip and the trick, and at the end, we have a little closing with more like an accountability. So we just ask, did you finish what you wanted to work on today? And basically, it's that. So we like to do it by seasons because we also need a break. It's a lot of work when we do this because it's not only that hour that we are there. We also have another hour that we are preparing, and it's actually more than a 1 hour. So that's why we need a break, and also people needs a break. It's not about being there all the time. So it's more about setting goals, and also we like to set goals at the beginning of the session, and then we have the end of the session. And we started with the last session to have like a closing party, like a closing online party. So it's good because this means that like our community is growing, and they are making relationship with others. So that's what we truly want. We don't just want people to be there and work there alone. It's more about also to with the community, so creating that.
And that's so important, especially in a time right now when we're going through this pandemic that's lasted 2 years, and people really, I think, are hungry for that community, even if it's online. January 25th, and then how many weeks are you going to go in the winter season?
I believe it ends the first week of April. April 5th, we have our celebration event where we just kind of network and ask fun questions to each other. So it's
That's
not working, it's
awesome.
just like fun.
Yeah. The closing ceremony.
Yeah. So it's 10 weeks in total. It'll last them
Wow.
all through the winter.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think that this idea is just brilliant. And I know that I talked to you too about this before, but so many people could use this. And I guess that kind of leads me into my next question of um, do you have a limit as to how many people can join Unlimited?
That's a very good question. It might be difficult to manage it if we had like more than 30 people. I'm not sure. We've not got that high right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the perfect mix is maybe like 15 people. We might eventually set a limit. We don't have a limit right now, but that might be a good idea in the future, just so we can make sure everybody it doesn't get overwhelming, right? And we don't have like people asking a million questions and nothing. We don't get around to the schedule.
Very cool. And you did mention that it's based out of Toronto, right?
Yeah, it's based in Toronto, but anyone's welcome to attend as long as like, that time works for them. They can come, and also everybody that's there is a female. So I mean, I just want to mention like everyone's welcome, not just like any gender, anybody. So it doesn't have to be just for women.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good.
But I do know that mostly women are using Instagram. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And so that is what you're focusing on strictly is just Instagram as a platform, right? Yeah. Um, my personal opinion is that Instagram is the best platform for businesses to market their business because there are just so many different tools that they can use. Literally, they could sell from the app if they wanted to, and wouldn't even need a website, which I personally think they should have a website, but it is possible with Instagram to just run your entire business on there, which is pretty cool. So, all right, I want to ask about how people can go about finding out more. And do you have a website? And then what is your Instagram?
yeah. So you can go to www.supernovasites.com/social, and that's to sign up for the event. We're also on Eventbrite and meetups for the event, so you can find us on there. Don't know if you're gonna find it in the search, but hopefully. And then our Instagram is Supernova Sites as well.
All right. And then what should we expect for the winter session? Are there like some, I know you don't want to give them all away, but do you have some examples of maybe what you'll be covering in a few of the weeks?
Yes, we have more about Reels that it's
Nice.
like trending right now, and everybody wants to do it. And I think Reels are going to be massive. It's a really good tool. So we have a lot to learn about Reels. But we also have other topics like what's the difference between a creator profile versus a business profile versus just a normal profile,
Nice.
and that's another topic. I don't want to give away everything. I don't know,
Yes.
Nicole, which which other topic do you think it's good to promote?
We're gonna talk about the new collaborations feature. how to use that to your advantage. You know, when you go on stories and you pick a sticker on Instagram stories, we're going to show you how to make your own sticker for your brand, which is really cool. Oftentimes, Instagram doesn't have your brand color on there, and it's so difficult to find. Like for me, I can never find my blue that I use for my company. So we're going to show you a quick way how to do it. So you always have your color, and that way you're going to help your branding. Direct message automation tools. We're going to talk about how to use that in the DMs. Tons of cool reel edits, like how to do a green screen and lyrics on reels, and a bunch more.
That is so cool. I think it's so interesting that you both don't necessarily do this for like a living. The idea that like these are topics that you know I get asked all the time. And so I'm constantly like DMing people and I'm like, man, I should create a course, right? But it's so good that you are doing this. And I don't know, how do you find the time with everything that you're doing? I need to know for my own personal life.
Well, I think that the time that I do figure this stuff out is long. It does take a while, you know, constantly on your screen. But anyway, everyone's on their screen now anyway. But the what you learn from it is huge. Like just to be able to walk away from that and be like, I know how to do this, and look how much it's grown my my Instagram. How I can post something on Instagram, feel more confident and professional. So I just feel like the work that we put into it kind of pays itself back. So it does take work, but I think these are valuable things that people and myself, and I hope, yeah, Anna, you too, feel like that it's helpful. I don't know, just like to be able to walk away like from never doing a reel to starting to do reels, and then maybe you really love it and you start doing YouTube, or like you just enhance your company way more, like so much more, right?
Yeah, and it's more about learning organically. So everything that we are teaching is not because we started looking for it because we want to teach it. It's because we really need it for our business and for our own Instagrams. So that's why
Right.
we learn it. It's because we need it. And I have a huge deal with reels because I don't like them. But I know I have to learn it. So that's that way Nicole has helped me because she's pushing me to do it because we have to do it. But there are other stuff that I have learned, and it's like a learning curve. You just have to be outside and do it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then you won't do it anymore. But the thing that I want to say is that what we're teaching is because we know we work, because we have been using it in our own accounts. So we are not just copying and pasting something that we learn outside. It's something that we really know that it's work because it's there and we use it every day.
Yes, I love that. What is then your favorite uh, thing about Instagram and your least favorite thing about Instagram?
That's a fun question. I don't like that I don't know if someone unfollow me and I'm
Mm.
still follow that person because I just think it's rude if someone is following you and then suddenly they unfollow you. So it that's the thing that I don't like. And the thing that I'm really loving it right now, it's the lives, doing lives. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
much fun for me. I don't know, it's different from reels. And I think lives they are more like casual and more like fun because it's in real time. So it's what it makes it fun. For reels, you need to prepare. You have to set the music, you have to do a lot of stuff. And when you do a live, you just go there and do it. It's quick and easier. So I think lives is the most fun part for me.
I'm totally in agreement with you. I used to not like lives because it's kind of scary. Um it's like, oh, am I going to mess up? And then once you do it, you're like, oh, no one cares if you mess up anyway. And it's been a lot of fun. And on that note, I hope that the three of us, can do a live uh, to promote this podcast, which we'll talk about. But um, Nicole, how are you doing?
Yeah, and Anna is gonna do a reels collaboration with me, even though she doesn't want to do
Awesome.
reels. And you're welcome to as well, Dakota.
Oh my gosh, yes, let's do it. Nicole, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about Instagram?
Jeez, I was just thinking the other day, like how people feel so insecure when they post a reel, like when the views are low. So I don't know, maybe we don't really need the amount of views on there. I don't know how necessary that is because people feel like really defeated, right? If they only get a few views, and there's just so much like tie to how like your self worth and like how successful you are. And so I don't like. I wonder if it would make sense to just even remove that, right? With how Instagram's moving forward with trying to be like a little more mental health conscious, you know, self care and all that. So I think maybe that would help. Um, and my best favorite is just being able to learn in my community. Like there's just so much great resources out there and free resources like carousel posts. Like I have a million saved carousel posts, like just tips for my that I keep for myself that I always come back to, like in my favorite folder. So there's just so much great free support out there on the app that is so visually pleasing to use other than like a blog post, right?
Exactly. I totally agree. I have so many saved posts. It's ridiculous. And I have different folders for everything. On the note of the amount of views for reels, it's so interesting because then it's like where do you draw the line? Because people get defeated if they don't get enough likes. People get defeated if, you know, no one shares their post or
Yeah.
and it's like there is that fine line where we have to be able to get to that point where we can put out the content and be able to kind of just like let it go. And if it does well, awesome. If it doesn't, move on to the next and just keep going and
Yeah,
keep trying. And, um, but it is
absolutely.
hard. Like it can be very defeating. I'm one of those people that have felt that for sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say
Yeah.
that because I recently saw that YouTube removed their like the number of unlikes
Yes.
on the YouTube views. But I was thinking like that was actually helpful. Like I used to go to YouTube views if it had a lot of dislikes, I would not watch it because I knew it wasn't helpful.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to wait so you could save time. Right? So I mean there's like where do you draw the line, right?
Exactly.
So
All right. What else do you want the world to know about social media sprints? Also, talk about the price of the course or the season.
what else do we want them to know? Just come prepared, like be ready to do some work and meet some really awesome people, and do some networking, and also walk away with some really great Instagram strategies and tools that you can use. Um, and yeah, just have a positive attitude. And for the 10 weeks, it's the investment is just $45, so it's very very affordable. And if people want to try out their first session for free, they can just to see what it's like. They would just have to send me an email, and I'll invite them.
Okay, so that is $4.50 per session. Just so everyone knows,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it's
It's less than a coffee.
Less than a Starbucks.
And also, we're going to record the tips section. So if people can join later, or if they don't attend that day, they can see it later and they can save it. So that's a huge thing that we're going to add on this new season. So it's an incentive, so then people can watch it later and save it for their own work.
Okay, well, thank you both so much. I'm so excited about this. I really, really love what you're doing. I think it's the best idea that I've heard all year and last year.
all years, just 7 days.
I know. No, I really do think it's so awesome. And I'll put the links in the show notes so everyone has access to them. But just so everyone can hear it again, it's supernovasites.com/social. And
Correct.
that's where people can also purchase the course, right? Or the sessions.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Very
They can pay PayPal or credit card.
awesome. Okay. Well, thank you again for joining. And if there's nothing else, then we can end it right there.
Thank you so much for having us. This was so fun, and we love what you're doing also because you're spreading information that it's huge, and that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Really appreciate it.
I'm really excited to let people know about this because, like, I can't scream enough just how cool this is and how cheap it is. And I just think it's really cool.